I'm actually an interaction design researcher, and I do like music stuff and try to come up with new ways how we interact with electronic music. So originally I worked with touchscreens a lot and thought this is a very promising thing, which is also very collaborative, but it's still a screen. And then I started working more on what's called tangible user interfaces. Something really interesting, the concept behind it is that you take physical objects and give them some sort of digital representation and vice versa, that you can interact with the digital world in the physical world. So it builds this kind of bridge between tangible things and this abstract bits and bytes world, what electronics are usually made of. So by working on this, I had this idea of it would be great if we can take an idea, like an abstract sort of creative spark that we have in our head, and put it into a tangible object, into like a thing that you can hold in your hand and show it to your friends, like, hey, look, I had this great idea, this is it. And almost like connect it to ideas of other people as well. So to build this network of creativity in a tangible way. It's kind of really out there, but I thought, hey, this could be a cool interaction concept, and I want to focus on that and work on that. So I first had to think about how would you abstract an idea, how do you express it? And in terms of music, there's obviously notation. You would write like a musical score or would sort of program a sequence of notes or so, but that's a very rigid approach to music. And I thought a programming environment where you use some form of abstraction in a more interactive way would be more appropriate to really integrate a lot of things, not just notes, but also the actual sound generation of almost like a synthesizer approach to it. If you look at old school analog modular synthesizers, they're based on this concept of having little modules that do something, and depending on how you connect them in different ways, it creates this machine that spits out all sorts of sounds. So I thought what we could do here is have the software interface in which you can come up with creative ideas in a programming environment, and then put it into a little block, almost like a little computer that you can program. And you can combine them in different ways and make all sorts of crazy noises with that. And the interesting part about this is, because if the information that's on there is digital, you can also upload it online and other people can download it online. It's almost like transferring your ideas across the world, yet giving them a physical body. Anyway, so this is all PhD stuff, and it was kind of academic, and people write papers about it and give presentations about it. And I thought it would be way more valuable if I could get it out there in the world and see if this concept actually works and if people really like it. So I thought, well, I have to make these things really cheap, and then put them online and try to sell them and see if people buy them and play around with it. I get really valuable data from it. Instead of just running some sort of case study or little research groups, it's the actual world I use as a laboratory. So I looked at Arduino. You probably have heard of them. It's a very interesting kind of maker piece of technology. But the chip or the technology that they use wasn't really powerful enough and was too expensive as well. So I had to do some research and found a really good processor that was way cheaper and much more powerful than what the Arduinos were using at the time. So I was focusing on that and tried to get most of what I could out of this really limited piece of technology, and also found a really nice cross-platform development API for the software. So it was like a software and a hardware project at the same time, and it took quite a while to get it really off the ground, and I had to learn everything from scratch, and it went through dozens of iterations of boards and stuff till I finally found something that was working and I was comfortable with to put it out there and see if people would buy it as some sort of validation. And at that point I ran a Kickstarter campaign, put the thing on Kickstarter, and lots of music heads really got into it and thought, this is so cool, a programmable modular synthesizer, I really want one. So that was really the push into the crowd out there, and people started using it. And there's a little community around the project as well now worldwide, where people create their own little devices, or like the programs for the devices, share them online, other people download them, and it's a spreading of musical ideas in this programming world, yet it's still tangible. And so like conclusion, what it is, it's this sort of interaction feeling that you get with Lego, which is very physical and you feel very creative, but what it puts out is very intangible, which is sound, and it's a lot of fun as well. So that's me. Thank you for your attention.